Father Mark F.D. Mark F.D. What? Reconcile her. Is it reconcile? Is that a word? It's a word, but is it the right word? I don't know. Reconsider. No. I quit. I have a mosquito bite. It is so itchy. Hey guys, it's Jay and I'm here with my July wrap-up video. I read a total of 10 books this month, which is actually really good because I only thought I would read like 5 or 6 because of my work. It's getting really dark out, so excuse the lighting. It's around 8 o'clock, so it's going to be sunset soon. So the lighting will get progressively worse throughout this video, and I apologize, but deal with it. So, without further ado, let us get started! The first book I read in July is This Gorgeous Game by Donna Freitas, and this is a book about Olivia Peters, who is a 17-year-old Catholic born and raised, and she has just won a writing contest. This contest means that she gets to spend her summer with Father Mark D. Brennan, a very famous author and priest. As the summer goes on, Olivia starts to feel very uncomfortable around Father Mark and the attention that he is giving her. Olivia doesn't understand how Father Mark's attention has escalated so quickly. With the help of her friends, family, and boyfriend, Olivia must reconcile her Catholic faith and her dream of becoming a writer while dealing with the fact that Father Mark's attention has become more than friendly. Yes! I did it! I really didn't like this book. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Goodreads. I think it's because I'm not Catholic and so I wasn't brought up, and it uses a lot of Catholic terms. So I was really confused throughout the book because I was like, I don't know what any of this means. But I think if you are Catholic, you would probably enjoy this book because it was good. I just had no idea what was going on. Also, Olivia really bothered me because right from the beginning you could tell that Father Mark's attention was inappropriate. And she just didn't care, and she was like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. Like, yes, it does. He's obviously a creeper, so why are you still hanging around him? Like, don't. The next book I have is You by Charles Benoit. I don't really want to give you a full synopsis because it would kind of give the book away, so I'm just going to give like a mini-ish synopsis, if that makes sense, but yeah. In this book, you are Kyle Chase, a 15-year-old sophomore who is also considered a loner and a hoodie at his school. Then you meet Zach, a boy who pushes everybody's buttons. You see, Zach has a talent of finding your weakness and using it against you until you crack. You think that you have nothing to worry about because you're an open book, right? Wrong. Travel into Kyle's mind and you realize how wrong you were. I don't know how I feel about this book. I really like the concept of being in second person and reading it as if you were the main character. But I didn't like the ending at all. I feel like a lot of my questions were unanswered and it really bothers me when that happens. But the ending is literally the back of the book. And it was like, I didn't even have to read the book because I still don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what happens to Kyle in the end. Maybe there's going to be a sequel that tells you. I don't know. But a sequel in Zach's perspective would be really cool. So, Charles Benoit. Get on that. Third book I read this month is Crazy Mixed Up World by Kevin Zedrill. I won this book off of a Goodreads giveaway. I really don't know how to summarize this book. It's basically you're following a bunch of different characters and how they all intertwine into one story and how they're all related. And I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It was good, but it took me a very long time to read because it was kind of boring in some places, but then in other places it was really interesting. There was a lot of characters that you needed to keep track of, which got a bit confusing at times, but it was very interesting to see how all their lives intercepted with each other. Also, I really did not like the ending. All my questions were unanswered. It was really sudden how it ended. The next 3 books I'm just going to do all together because it is a trilogy, which I read for the Booktubeathon, so you've probably seen these books already, which are actually all the rest of my books I believe I read for the Booktubeathon, so you can exit this video if you want or just skip ahead to the bloopers. I don't really care, to be honest, so whatever you feel like doing, do it. The 3 books that I'm going to show you next are Withering Tights, A Midsummer's Night's Dream, and The Taming of the Tights, and these are all by Louise Renison. Tallulah Cassie wants to be a star, and she goes off to college for performing arts, and it's basically all about her adventure at college and how she meets the Tree Sisters, and that is 4 other girls, and they become really good friends, and it's all about them finding love and going to college and all that jazz. But it is an absolutely hilarious series, and I recommend it. It's so funny. And Louise Renison's writing is so unique, and I just love her. And I'm sure you are all getting sick of me saying how much I love her, but she is so funny. So seriously, read these books if you get the chance. And also, I still love the covers because look at the owl. He's just so cute. Like, look at him. He has a hat. And he's just chilling. Like, it's so cute. I ended up giving all 3 of these books a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The next book I have is Chloe Doe by Suzanne Phillips, and this book is about 17-year-old Chloe Doe who just got arrested for prostitution, and she finds herself in Madame Parker's Institute for Girls. That's really hard to remember. She is expected to become who she was meant to be. I don't know, but basically she is expected to leave the life of prostitution. Chloe goes through therapy where bits of her story is told through flashbacks until you finally have the full picture of a broken girl. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it, but I was able to put it down, which usually means I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was actually really interesting how the author mixed English and Spanish into one book. I found it a little bit confusing sometimes how the story would jump back and forth from present to past. The next book I read is fairly short, but it is Politically Correct Bedtime Stories by James Finn Garner. This book was so funny. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Garner takes the Grimm brothers fairy tales and gives them a satirical twist, and all of the tales are so funny. I think my favorite has to be Cinderella. If you ever read this book, go straight to Cinderella. It is hilarious. And I read this book in one sitting. It is only 79 pages. So that's not that impressive, but I absolutely love this book. It was wonderful. I would say this book is not appropriate for children though, because it talks about a lot of controversial things. So if you're a child, don't read this book. Don't do it. No. No, 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 no. The next book I have to show you guys is The Missing Girl by Norma Fox Mazer. I don't really want to give a full synopsis on this book either, because if I gave you a synopsis it would kind of ruin the whole story. But it is so good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I recommend it. Like, seriously, read the book. Beauty, Mim, Stevie, Fancy, and Autumn Herbert do not notice the man who watches them every day on their way to school. The man can't decide which sister he likes best until one day his desire finally takes root and it becomes rather creepy. When one of the sisters gets lost on a walk, she asks the man for help to go home. This is when the man takes his desire to the next level. What will happen to the sisters? Will they ever be together again? Dun dun dun. I love the alternating perspectives between all the sisters and the man. I found it really interesting to be able to look into the mind of each sister and the man and realize what they were thinking throughout the story. Although the topic is quite a disturbing topic to cover, I think Mazer did an excellent job, and I think her writing is so unique, and I seriously think that you should all read this book. It is so good. The final book I have is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Oh my god, this book. One day after school, Clay Jensen, a high school student, comes home from school and receives an anonymous package that has 7 cassette tapes with the numbers 1 to 13 written on them in blue nail polish. When he begins listening to these tapes, he realizes that the voice from the tapes is Hannah Baker, one of his classmates and crush from school, who has ended up committing suicide earlier in that year. Hannah has recorded 13 tapes describing how 13 of her peers were responsible for her suicide. Once Clay finishes the tapes, he must send them on to the next person on the tape. Through the course of one day, Clay wanders through the town and waits for his tape, which explains why he is responsible for Hannah's death. I really liked this book. I thought it was so interesting how the author used both Hannah's voice but Clay's thoughts, and I liked how he intertwined both of those to make this story. Throughout the entire book, I found myself on the edge of my seat wanting to know how each of the characters connected into a bigger picture, and I thought it was a really interesting concept for a book, and I do recommend this book. It was really good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Okay guys, so that was my July wrap-up video. I will upload this, and then I will be uploading my August TBR very soon after you see this video. So, I will see you in my next video, and goodbye! Okay, fourth book. The fourth book is called None of Your Beeswax. That's what it's called. The Dreaming of the Dates? No, that's not this one. Any summer states. Dream. The three... Don't do this. Why you do that? Undergoes therapy. That just sounds terrible. Undergoes? You don't... do you undergo therapy? I don't know. You just go to therapy, right? Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. It is politically... Yep. English. Good idea, Jan. English. They do not notice. I'm gonna restart. I'm just gonna restart. Receives an anonymous. She has recorded 13 tapes. Yes, she has done that. Yes, Jan. Good. 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 We're getting places. Once Clay finishes the tapes, he must send the tapes on to the next person in the tapes. That's just a lot of tapes. Lots of tapes. Prescriptions. God damn it. Perspective. I love the alternating I quit. Done. Bye. Bye guys. See ya. See you later. Yep.